All right, let's dive in. In the world of JavaScript, things are really heating up. For, what, more than a decade, Node.js has been the undisputed king of server-side JavaScript, but that's changing. Now, two really powerful challengers, Deno and Bun, have stepped into the ring, and each one is promising to fix Node's biggest headaches. So today, we're going to unpack this fierce competition and see who's really winning the runtime wars.
Okay, let's kick things off with a quote that I think is going to hit home for a lot of you. This developer on Reddit just nails the frustration that has fueled this entire revolution, right? The endless configuration, the boilerplate, that feeling that you're spending more time wrestling with your tools than actually writing code. This, right here, is the core problem that both Deno and Bun are desperately trying to solve.
So what is this problem exactly? Well, we can call it the toolchain tax. It's kind of like this hidden cost of doing business in modern JavaScript. It's all the time and, frankly, the mental energy you spend just trying to get a complex web of tools to play nicely together before you even write a single hello world. So let's get real about what that tax actually looks like.
Yeah, this screen probably looks painfully familiar to a lot of you. Just to get a simple TypeScript project off the ground, you're running a bunch of different commands, installing a whole handful of separate packages. You need your package manager, then a bundler like Vite, a test runner like Jest, a transpiler for your TypeScript, and each one needs its own configuration. It gets the job done, sure, but man, it's a lot of hoops to jump through before you get to the fun part.
Now, to be fair, this complexity in the Node world wasn't an accident. It's actually a direct result of the Unix philosophy. This idea of do one thing and do it really well. So Node provides the core runtime, and then the community builds these amazing, specialized tools for everything else. And look, this created a massive, powerful ecosystem, but it's also exactly how we ended up with the toolchain tax we're all feeling today.
And this slide really sums up the result of that philosophy over time, doesn't it? As developers, we've all felt the pain of those slow install times, the infamous black hole that is the Node modules folder, and, the very real security concerns hiding deep in those dependency trees. And all this frustration, well, it basically rolled out the red carpet for a whole new way of thinking.
So, all that friction paved the way for our first contender, Bun. If you think of Node.js as the established heavyweight champion, then Bun is the blazing fast upstart that just showed up to the fight. It took one look at the toolchain tax and decided the answer was simple: radical consolidation and just raw, unadulterated speed.
And Bun's philosophy is pretty much the polar opposite of that Unix approach. Instead of you having to stitch together a runtime, a package manager, a bundler, and a test runner from all these different places, Bun just gives you the whole shebang. It's all in one single cohesive toolkit. It's a runtime, yeah, but it's also your package manager, your bundler, and your test runner, all built in and optimized to work together from the get-go. So what is Bun most famous for? Speed. I mean, blistering, almost unbelievable speed. Just think about it for a second. That npm install that usually has you going to grab a coffee because it takes a minute or more? With Bun, it's often done in just a few seconds. For developers, that is a massive quality of life improvement.
And look, this isn't just some made-up number from a lab. This is a real-world developer experience. When you're constantly switching branches or you're running your CI/CD pipelines over and over, all those seconds you save on every single install, they add up incredibly fast.
But speed isn't the only problem that developers have had with Node. So let's talk about solution number 2, Deno, the cautious reformer. And what's so fascinating here is that Deno was created by Ryan Dahl, the original creator of Node.js. He basically came back to fix what he saw as fundamental design flaws in his own creation, especially when it came to security.
Deno's whole philosophy can be summed up in 3 words: secure by default. Think of Deno as a bouncer at a club. Unlike Node, where any script can just freely access your network or your file system, Deno forces it to ask for permission first. You, the developer, have to explicitly grant access with these flags, like /allownet or /allowread. It's a complete 180 on the typical security model.
Deno also completely reimagined how we handle dependencies. It just throws out the entire idea of a centralized package manager like npm and that dreaded node_modules folder. Instead, you import modules directly from URLs, kind of like you would in a web browser. This totally avoids those complex, bloated dependency trees that plague so many Node projects.
Okay, so we've got 2 incredible new tools, right? But you know how it is. With any new technology, there's always a gap between the marketing hype and the day-to-day reality. Both Bun and Deno come with their own set of trade-offs and criticisms, and it's really crucial that we understand them.
This, right here, is the #1 knock against Bun. While its speed is absolutely undeniable, a lot of experienced developers point to stability issues. You'll see frequent bug reports of segmentation faults, which are basically critical crashes that can just bring your whole application down. So there's this perception that its growth is maybe fueled more by venture capital marketing and hype, which raises real questions about whether it's truly ready for primetime production use.
So this really frames the central conflict perfectly. On one side, you have Bun, and it is laser-focused on raw speed and developer experience, even if that means sacrificing a bit of stability in the short term. Then on the other side, you have Deno, which prioritizes security and correctness above all else, making it feel more polished, but maybe not as explosively fast. And it's also worth pointing out, both of these challengers are backed by venture capital, which is really driving this intense competition.
So, with all this disruption, is Node.js finished? I mean, not by a long shot. You should never, ever count out the incumbent. The Titan is waking up and it is fighting back by directly addressing the very criticisms that created its competitors in the first place. This competition isn't just about splitting up the ecosystem, it's forcing everyone to get better.
And it's not just talk either. Let's look at what they've been shipping. Node.js now has a fully stable, built-in fetch API. The modern standard for making network requests. That reduces the need for external packages. It's also introduced an experimental permission model that looks, well, a lot like Deno's, allowing you to lock down access. And all the while, its performance just keeps getting better with every single release.
So here it is, the summary showdown. You've got Node.js, the Titan. Its strength is its unparalleled stability and absolutely massive ecosystem, but the price you pay is that toolchain complexity. Then you have Deno, the reformer. It's focused on security and modern practices, but its ecosystem is still playing catch-up. And finally, Bun, the upstart, promising that incredible speed and developer experience, but with those lingering questions about production stability. Really, it boils down to a choice. What do you value most? A massive ecosystem, ironclad security, or just raw performance? Okay, so this brings us to the most important question of all. Which one should you actually use for your next project? Well, the answer, of course, is it depends. It really comes down to your project's specific needs and priorities. So let's build a simple framework to help you decide.
So here's the cheat sheet. If you're working on a big, established enterprise application where stability, long-term support, and access to that gigantic package ecosystem are non-negotiable, you should probably stick with Node.js. Are you starting a brand new project from scratch and you just want to move fast and have the best developer experience? Bun is an incredible choice. And if you're building an application where security is your absolute top priority and you want a cleaner, more modern approach to dependencies, then you should definitely check out Deno.
You know, the best part about this whole battle is that we, the developers, are the real winners. This competition is pushing the entire JavaScript ecosystem forward, forcing every runtime to be better, faster, and more secure. So as we wrap this up, the question isn't just about who's going to win the war. It's about what path makes the most sense for what you're building next. Will you go with the stable giant, the secure reformer, or the fastest contender? The choice is yours.